So, welcome everyone, and thank you. Thank you for listening. So, if you're here, there's a good chance that the world feels like too much right now, too loud, too bright, too fast, too many people, too many sounds, and too many things demanding your attention. Maybe it is the noise of the city, the hum of the fluorescent lights, maybe even the texture of your clothes against the skin, or the 20 conversations happening at once in your head. Or maybe it is more subtle than that. Just everything. All of it. The sheer volume of existing in a world that never stops. I want you to know something right from the start. There is nothing wrong with you. If the world feels like too much, it is not because you're too sensitive, too weak, or somehow broken. It is because your nervous system is taking in more than most people realize. It is because you are wired to notice things that others filter out. And in a world that was not designed for sensitive systems, this can be exhausting and overwhelming. So, this conversation is not about fixing you. It is about giving your nervous system what it actually needs: less input, more space, and permission to come back to its baseline at its own pace. You do not need to do anything right now. You do not need to feel anything in particular. You just need to be here as you are, with whatever level of overwhelm you are carrying, and that is enough. You are enough. Now, let me explain what may be happening in your nervous system when everything feels like too much. Because understanding this can actually help, not necessarily in a thinking way, but in a this makes sense way. Your nervous system is constantly receiving information through your eyes, your ears, your skin, your nose, through the subtle signals of other people's body language and tone of voice, through temperature, movement, and vibration. Most people have fairly robust filters. They take in the essential information and screen out the rest. They can sit in a noisy cafe and tune out the background chatter. They can wear fabric without noticing it all day. But for some of us, the filters work differently. We take in more, we notice more, and the background chatter is not background, it is foreground. The scratchy fabric is not ignorable, it is all we think about. Now, this is not a flaw. This is a feature of a sensitive nervous system. It means you pick up more than others. You pick up on what others miss. It also means you are attuned to things. But it also means that your system can get flooded. When the input exceeds your capacity to process it, overwhelm happens. Now, in nervous system terms, this often looks like sympathetic activation, the fight or flight response. Your heart might race, you might feel agitated, irritable, desperate to escape. Or it might tip into dorsal vagal, shut down, foggy, numb, disconnected, like your system just checked out. Now, both of these are your nervous system trying to protect you. They are not malfunctions, they are simply responses to overload. So, the question is not how do I stop being so sensitive? You cannot change how your nervous system is wired. And honestly, you would not want to, because your sensitivity is also your gift. The question is how do I help my system come back to baseline when it gets flooded? And that is something we can practice. Now, there is a concept I want to share with you called the window of tolerance. Now, imagine a window, a zone where you can handle what is happening, where the input is manageable, where you can feel your feelings without being overwhelmed by them, and think the thoughts without drowning in them. When you are inside your window of tolerance, you can cope, you can engage with the world, and you can even enjoy things. But when input pushes you outside the window, either into hyper arousal, where everything is too much and you cannot settle, or into hypo arousal, where you want to shut down and disconnect, you cannot cope the same way and your system goes into survival mode. Now, here's the thing about windows of tolerance. They are different sizes for different people. Some people have wide windows. They can handle a lot of input before they get overwhelmed, and they seem unflappable. Lucky them. And others have narrower windows. Less input is needed before the system gets flooded. And this is not weakness. It is just how their nervous system is calibrated. And windows can also get narrower temporarily. When you're tired, stressed, hungry, or already carrying a lot, what you could handle yesterday might be too much today. This is important to understand because it means you're not failing when you get overwhelmed, you're not being dramatic, your window is simply exceeded. The goal is not to make yourself handle more and more input. That is just forcing yourself to suffer. The goal is to know your window, respect your window, and have the tools for coming back when you've exceeded it. And also, gently, over time, expanding your capacity, not through force, but through safety. So, what actually helps when the world is too much? Now, first and most importantly, reduce input. This sounds obvious, but we often try to push through instead of removing ourselves from overwhelming situations. We stay at the party, we keep working in the noisy office, we tell ourselves we should be able to handle it. You do not have to handle it. You're allowed to leave, to find a quiet room, turn the lights off, to do whatever reduces the flood of input coming at your system. This is not weakness, it is wisdom. It is working with your nervous system instead of working against it. Now, second thing, coming back to your body. Now, when we are overwhelmed, we tend to go up into the head, racing thoughts, trying to think our way out. But the nervous system does not live in your thoughts. It lives in your body. Gentle body awareness, feeling your feet on the ground, the weight of your body, the rhythm of your breath, helps signal safety to the nervous system, and it's saying to your body, you're here, in this body, in this moment, and you're okay. Third thing, one thing at a time. Overwhelm often comes from trying to process too many things at once. One sensation, one breath, one moment. And we will practice that in a moment. How to narrow your attention to something small and manageable when everything else feels like too much. And the fourth thing is to give it time. Your nervous system needs time to process and discharge an activation. This is not something you can rush. The settling happens in its own time. If you give it the conditions it needs, quiet, safety, and space. Be patient with yourself. Healing from overwhelm is not instant. It is gradual, and it's a slow return. Now let's practice some of this. And before we move into this practice, I want to say something to those of you who have spent your life being told that you're too much, too sensitive, too intense, too emotional, too easily overwhelmed. Maybe you have believed it. Maybe you've spent years trying to toughen up to be less affected, or as they say, develop thicker skin. I want to offer you a different frame on all this. What if your sensitivity is not a problem to be solved? What if it is a gift? One that comes with certain challenges, yes, but also with the depth and richness and perception that others do not have access to. Sensitive nervous systems notice beauty others walk past. They feel music in their whole body. They sense when something is off before anyone else does. They connect deeply, feel deeply, experience life at high definition. Yes, this means the hard things hit harder. Yes, this means overwhelm is a real challenge. But it also means the good things land deeper. The connection is more profound. The experience of being alive is more vivid. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are sensitive. And that is a real thing, with real challenges that deserves real support. No criticism, no toughening up, but just support. The journey that I'm offering you is just support. Now I want to invite you into a practice. This is not about adding more. It is about finding your way back to the baseline when the world has been too much. If you can, find somewhere quiet, somewhere the input is minimal. Dim the lights if you can. Remove anything that is adding the noise, visual, auditory, anything. And just let yourself settle into a comfortable position. Sitting up or lying down. Whatever feels like the least effort. Now let your eyes close if that feels okay. And if closing your eyes increases the overwhelm, please keep them open. Hands soft, but gazing downwards. Now the visual world goes quiet. One whole channel of information now is switched off. Just rest in that for a moment. Less to take in and less to process. Now I'm going to invite you to find one anchor. Just one simple thing to rest your attention on. This could be the feeling of your feet on the ground or the weight of your hands on your lap, or the subtle movement of your breath. It does not matter what you choose. What matters is that it is one thing, simple and manageable. Just find your anchor now. And just rest your attention there. No gripping, no forcing, just resting. Like setting down something heavy. Your mind might wander. That is fine. That is normal. When you notice it has wandered, do not add criticism to overwhelmed. Just gently come back to your anchor. Feet, hands, breath. Just one thing. Now just let yourself be here. You do not have to do anything. You do not have to process anything. You do not have to figure anything out. Just be. In this quiet, in this reduced input, in this one thing at a time simplicity. Now, if your system wants to discharge anything, a sigh, a yawn, a tremor, a tear, let it. This is the body releasing what it has been holding. Welcome it. And now very slowly, let your awareness expand just a little. Include the sounds around you, but gently. Not grabbing at them, just letting them exist at the edge of your awareness. Include the feeling of the room now, the temperature and the space. Now still anchored in your one thing, your feet, your hands, your breath, but allowing a little more in at your pace, only as much as you can hold. Take a breath now, a slow one. And whenever you're ready now, no rush. Just let your eyes open. Let the visual world come back in gently, like turning up a dimmer switch slowly and not flipping on a floodlight. So welcome back. You did not have to do anything big. You just gave your system what it needed. Less input, more space, and time. to find its way back. So, to all the sensitive souls, all people with sensitive nervous systems, that is the practice. Nothing complicated, nothing demanding, just reduction, simplicity, patience, and letting your nervous system do what it knows how to do. Now, you can return to this anytime when the world gets too loud, too bright, too much. You know the way back now. Reduce the input, find one anchor, rest there, and give it time. And please remember, you are not too sensitive, you're not broken, you're not failing at being human. You have a nervous system that takes in a lot, that is real, and it deserves care, not criticism. So go gently, protect your peace, and give yourself the quiet that your system is asking for. You do not have to match the pace of the world. You can move at your own speed. You can need what you need. The world might be too much, but you are not too much. You're just right for the kind of human that you are. Now, let this all land and take care of yourself. Thank you very much for joining me today, and namaste.